Everybody, Ryan with Rigs of Death Metal. Today we're going to be bringing you our new signature Kemper pack. This is the second one that we've done with Amp Guru profiles. The first one was, sorry about that, first one was focused a little bit more on just high gain, boutique amps, some more common stuff like your EVH 5153s and stuff like that, or a Mesa Dual Rec, but there's some really cool, high-end, really expensive stuff in there that it's kind of hard to find or even to try out. This Kemper pack, not anything even close to that. This one is focused on old school 90s death metal tones. Some of the amps included would be, which some of these are getting kind of hard to find. These used to be awesome, budget amps. I believe these are, I think everything on here is either a solid state amp, possibly, or a hybrid, or a distortion pedal running into, admittedly, a pretty high-end boutique power amp, but just to kind of give you a good representation of what the pedal can do, which we'll get into that in a minute. Among the amps included here, let me see. Yeah, we'll just kind of go through the list here. There's some extras in here that aren't in the pack. This is just kind of like some of my personal favorites out of these. Anyway, so we have a Crate GX130C, which, if any of you, older kids, remember Crate, they actually had some bangers in their catalog. This amp in particular, because Ampeg and Crate at one point were owned by the same company, so they would typically put out cheaper counterparts of some of the Ampeg amps through the Crate line. And this is one of those examples. The GX130C is sort of like a more budget-friendly version of the Ampeg VH140C, which, if we look at this one here, we've included that amp as well, so you could actually shoot out between the two and see which one you like better. Now, right now, you're just seeing what I have loaded into my actual Kemper profiler. If we go to local library, there's a ton of them, because Chris did a bunch of different profiles, pairing these different amps and pedals and combining them with different kinds of pedals. But for the sake of brevity, we'll just kind of go over a handful here to give you a general idea of what each one sounds like, and which pedal pairing or whatever, what cab you use, which these are all going to include a cab IR. It's my go-to cab IR. It is of my Marshall MF400 cab down here. SM57 on the top right speaker, kind of in a sweet spot, and I think it sounds great with all of these. But again, part of the fun with digital stuff is being able to experiment on the fly. Anyway, enough rambling. Back to the thing here. So yeah, we got the Ampeg, we got the Crate, we have, that's not it. We have the Marshall Valve State 8100, made famous by a bunch of bands. I guess we should include maybe some of the bands that utilize some of these for those that aren't in the know. Marshall Valve State, made famous by the band Death, as well as a bunch of others like Meshuggah, Prong, Static X, just that I can think of. But it's a great amp. And here's what it sounds like. This particular one is paired with the Dolly Overdrive from Michael Klein Audio, just because I like the sound of it. That's actually the tone that you heard in the demo song there at the beginning. And let's go ahead and load up. This is the Corpse, otherwise known as the Ampeg VH140C. I'm pretty sure Cannibal Corpse, I know they used the crate in the early days, and I believe they used this one as well. I know some other popular bands that use this amp would be in Suffocation, Dying Fetus, tons of those New York, 90s death metal bands, kind of like Internal Bleeding, kind of hardcore influenced death metal. No, not deathcore. Yeah. Which, I think this one kind of benefits from, a little bit from some kind of boost or EQ shift just to brighten it up a little bit. There's a couple of these that have I don't even know what to call it. A secret option or a sauce option, and it's just some kind of tone experiment that Chris did over at Amp Guru. I don't even know what he did. He might have told me and I forgot, but I know it sounds pretty killer. He might have ran the amps through the power amp of something else. Like, I know a lot of the pedal profiles that we'll go over here in a minute, he ran through the power amp of a Bogner. I can't remember which one. Yeah, that's great for slam riffs. And here's the crate version. Not quite as aggressive. Then here's the secret option. Oh, turn the cab off. There we go. Yeah, I like that one a lot better. And there's all kinds of different pedals and overdrives that you can kind of mix in here too to get different sounds. I think that those two would sound really good as like a left and a right, personally. Then what else we got here? We also did the DoD death metal pedal, which was like an old distortion pedal that was trying to emulate a lot of the 90s death metal bands. I actually have one here. And let's see, this was definitely ran through the Bogner and as a preamp, meaning you run it through the effects return of the actual amplifier, and you can bypass the preamp section of that amp, and you're using just the pedal into the clean power amp of the amp head. So, you know, you get the power and volume of the Bogner's power amp, but 100% of your EQ, gain, and your overall tone is coming from the pedal, and that's what's captured here. You know what? There's the dry profile. Let's try that one. This is actually, I think, one of my favorites. You start throwing an overdrive into the mix. This is with the Dybbuk pedal from Michael Klein Audio. And this is one of my favorite tones in the whole pack, honestly. Yeah, I love that sound. And then, let me see here. We also have the Aris Effects Nemesis pedal, which is just a preamp style pedal, running it the same way into a Bogner. The pedal by itself is fairly low gain. Like, I feel like it's just designed to run in conjunction with some kind of overdrive. So here it is with the Chrysogrim, which is one of my favorite overdrives. Again, Michael Klein Audio. I think the mid-range of that one, it lends pretty well to black metal, so that's what inspired that. Moving on here, we also did a Boss Metal Zone and ran it as a preamp into the Bogner, and just because we're insane like that. And here it is, boosted with, again, the Dolly. Which, just for reference, I believe the Dolly, I believe it's like a Klon Centaur clone, and just kind of boosting it. I think this one sounds pretty good too. Bit more that scoop thrashy kind of thing, in my opinion. Which I mean, I love it for that. A lot of people associate the Metal Zone kind of with like Municipal Waste and that whole thing. Enough of that. And then last but not least, just because it's not death metal at all, so a lot of you are probably going to raise an eyebrow at this, but I've always been a huge Rammstein fan, and forever have bugged the crap out of Chris to do like a Rammstein tribute tone pack. This is easily the most unique out of the entire Kemper pack. This is the Tech 21 PL1. It's a signature, it's like a little tiny, I'll throw up a picture, but it's this little fly rig unit that Paul Landers from Rammstein uses, and the pedal is designed to run straight into a PA system. So it's kind of like a built-in cab emulation. He was a big proponent of the Tech 21 PS1, I think is what it was called. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was basically like a valve amp simulator. I think it was solid state. Maybe it had some tube preamps or some preamp tubes in it. I can't remember. They're pretty cool though. Alexi Laiho might have used them for a minute. Again, could be spreading misinformation. Don't know. All I know is this thing sounds cool. One thing to keep in mind though is that you're not going to be able to run a cab block in your Kemper with this, because that's not what it's meant to sound like. It's just I'll give you an A/B comparison here in a second, but this is what it sounds like just by itself. Just for fun, this is what it sounds like with a cab block. Kind of muffled, kind of muddy. So, because when you add a cab IR, you're basically just adding an extra layer of EQ on top of it, and it just doesn't complement that very well. Personally, I like it. I like running it with the. There's actually a built-in boost on the PL1. I think it sounds great. Me trying to remember how to play Du Hast. Yeah, and that one I would just run just as a straight up amp block, no cab or anything. Unless you just, I don't know, unless you can find a cab block that sounds better than what I was able to come up with. But yeah, and there were some other ones that I was testing out here that you might kind of be looking at and thinking, oh, what's that? Probably stuff that will either never be released, or that Chris is going to save for a different pack. And there's some other things that we tried that just didn't quite work out too. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this, and these are definitely some. These are definitely super useful. There, if you're a Kemper user. I feel like the whole culture behind a lot of Kemper stuff is super modern tones, so I feel like this is kind of a little bit new to the market. Normally Kemper users, I don't think are usually the guys trying to go for the super old school tones, but I know they're out there. I've even seen James Murphy playing it was like a death tribute show, and actually using a Kemper, and totally killing all those spiritual healing songs. But yeah, this will be an invaluable asset to me. But thank you again, Chris, and a little shout out to Aris Effects and Michael Klein Audio for being a part, for being cool with some of these profiles, using some of their products. Be sure to go check them out. Definitely give them your support. Both pump out awesome products. I've got several here, and thank you for checking out the video. We'll see you next time. Bye.